let's take a look at the front cameras from outside the car, see what you can see. Sorry about the reflections, but as you can see, the cameras are very low profile from outside the car and pretty much invisible to anybody at any sort of distance away. This is the rear camera. Again, sorry about the reflections, but as you can see, from any sort of distance away, the camera is pretty much invisible unless you're looking straight through, and even then you couldn't tell exactly what it is. Here's the external recording camera. It is an Eyoyo Mini 0806 camera. The reason I've chosen it is because it's got a very small footprint. As you can see, it's mounted outside of the area that the windscreen wipers wipe. When you view the camera from directly on, which in this car, as it hasn't got a sunroof, is almost impossible, the camera actually only encroaches upon the swept area of the windscreen by less than 8mm. On the other side, which you don't really need to know about, but I'll tell you about, that's my internal camera. That's a DDPIA Mini 2 camera. It's full 1080p, low light, Sony Exmor sensor, 32 gig memory card, will record for 7 hours on a loop. It's actually very good using it inside. The reason I chose the 0806 is because of its memory capacity. This camera has 228 gig memory cards in it, which means at the fullest resolution it will record for 32 hours before it loops back, switching from the two memory cards. It also has a GPS sensor and will record the GPS track along with the time and the date and obviously the action. The recording mode is 920 by 1080p at 45 frames per second. The reason I use 45 frames per second is when I need to do something in slow motion, it eases on the jerkiness. This is the rear recording camera. Again, it's an Eyoyo Mini 0806, again with 256 gigabytes of RAM. Like the front, it also records the GPS track as well as video and audio. All of the cabling is run under the headlining, in this case to my rear power socket. On the front camera, it's run under the headlining, down the side of the doorpost into a 3-amp USB socket, which is wired directly into the battery. The reason that I do that is because I have two cameras running off of a single line, and 3 amps is just about enough to stop the cameras from suffering from surge problems when the engine starts.